Good afternoon, listeners. This is Imad Kasir on Planet FM 87.6. Your favorite show. This is Mind and Muse. And every Saturday from 12 to 2, we dive deep into the rituals of art, literature, mind sciences, book reviews, and we also invite esteemed guests to our studios to have discussions in these areas. And dear listeners, you can catch us live on www.radio.gov.pk/live-streaming. You can also follow our Facebook page with the name Planet FM 87.6, and you can also download the Radio Pakistan's official app from the Play Store. And dear listeners, today it's a special episode. I am super excited. And before we move on, let me just share an important message to all of my listeners, and that is basically our commitment, Pakistan's commitment to religious harmony and prevention of extremism. Pakistan's approach to preventing violent extremism is rooted in Islamic teachings and also in the Constitution. The country has implemented policies and frameworks to protect minorities, promote social cohesion, and counter extremist narratives. And protection of minorities is a moral and constitutional imperative in Islam. And Pakistan's national counter-extremism policy focuses on prevention, stabilization, and rehabilitation. The government has taken steps to regulate madrasas, promote interfaith harmony, and counter online extremist propaganda. Efforts include blocking over 1.3 million extremists' web links and promoting a unified religious narrative through Paigam-e-Pakistan. Pakistan aims to address ideological distortions, promote social cohesion, and safeguard youth from extremist influences. And Pakistan emphasizes prevention over reaction, focusing on ideological correction and community engagement. It prioritizes education, skills development, and civic engagement to counter extremist narratives, and it encourages interfaith dialogue and national unity. So this is a special message on Radio Pakistan, Islamabad, Planet FM 87.6, and dear listeners, I'll be sharing the details of our today's special episode of Mind and Muse. And as I mentioned earlier, that we review books, and we have so many different areas in which we talk about, and mind sciences is one of my personal favorite, and also it aligns with our with the theme of this show, Mind and Muse. And I'm, as I mentioned earlier, that I'm super excited for today's show. And well, this is one of my favorite areas, because today's conversation is something many of you might already be familiar with who listen to my shows. And if you have ever come across the idea of the law of attraction, and this law sounds familiar when you are interacting with Imad, with me, and we are revisiting the work of that famous Australian author and film director Rhonda Byrne, but this time through her book, The Power. And that book is basically the follow-up to her global bestseller, The Secret. We have already reviewed The Secret in detail on this channel in my earlier shows, and we have repeatedly discussed the concept that is discussed in that book, Secret, and this book which we'll be discussing today, The Power, that is in fact an advanced version of her first book. And let me share some detail about the author for my listeners. Rhonda Byrne, as I mentioned, she is a bestseller. She is the ultimate guru for manifestation and the law of attraction, and she is best known for her book that I just mentioned, The Secret, which was published for the first time in year 2006 and became a massive hit. It's all about the power of positive thinking and visualizing your dreams into reality. She's got a bunch of other books and movies also on the same vibe, and today we'll be discussing one of them. The Power, and other books are The Magic, and she is basically all about tapping into the good stuff and making your life amazing. And I can tell, as I mentioned, the first book, The Secret, it was basically it tells you about your thoughts shape your reality, and you can visualize your goals and they can be manifested. This was the theme of the book, which we have already discussed. And dear listeners, I'll be today sharing my thoughts, and it will be more of a sort of a difference between her first book, The Secret, and this book that we are going to discuss today, The Power. And I'll be sharing my views that what is the difference. And as I mentioned earlier, that it is the advanced version of her first book, so it is kind of necessary for those who are interested in this concept of law of attraction and mind sciences. If they haven't read her first book, The Secret, so they should first read The Secret and then move on to her book, The Power, that we'll be discussing today. The Power, that was written in 2010, and in this book her focus is more on the feelings, and especially on the feeling of love, and she calls it the most powerful force, and it is absolutely true, and we can change our lives by using this force. And I'll be sharing in detail how to use this power as explained by Rhonda Byrne in this book. And then she had her book, The Magic, that was published in 2012. And in that book she tells us that practice gratitude daily to attract positivity, and this is a one-line summary of that wonderful book, and we'll be soon discussing that book also, and we'll be having a full episode on that also, inshallah. And then her book came out, Hero, in 2013, and in that book she enlightened us that everyone is a hero of their own story, so find yours. And How the Secret Changed My Life, it was the title of her book that was published in 2016. And in that book, real life stories of transformation of so many different people were collected, and it is another wonderful book. And then her latest book till date, that was published in 2020, and that was titled as The Greatest Secret. And so she has started with The Secret, and she has moved on to The Greatest Secret. And in this book, The Greatest Secret, she tells us about connecting with our true selves and with the universe. So dear listeners, this was a little introduction of the author Rhonda Byrne, and about her books. All of her books are bestsellers, and she talks about vibrations, she talks about the law of attraction, and then she tells us how to how to be in that feeling of a manifestation. And this is all about her books, and those who know and who listen to my shows, they already know that this is an area that we have discussed, and we have done many shows on such this mind sciences and in such areas and on such books. And this is absolutely a wonderful concept. And today this book, The Power, this, as I mentioned, that this book takes us one step further, and it says that it tells us basically something different. It's more subtle and maybe more difficult to actually practice, and that is the main reason that I requested my listeners to go for the secret book first and then read this one, because if you start this one, so you may feel it a bit difficult, but those who have read the secret, they won't find it difficult. So it says it's not just your thoughts, it's your feelings that truly shape your life. So dear listeners, this is the one-liner summary of this book, that in her first book she had more focus on thoughts, and in this book she focuses more on our feelings. And I'll be telling you the connection between these two areas, that how can we improve or make our thoughts aligned with the universe and aligned with our feelings, and how can we get what we exactly want in our lives. So this is about the book, and I'll be I'll be sharing my thoughts on this wonderful book right after this favorite track. Welcome back, dear listeners. This is Imad Kasir on Planet FM 87.6. The show is Mind and Muse, and we are today discussing the book called The Power by Rhonda Byrne. And before the break, I was sharing my views that in her first book, The Secret, it was more about the thoughts, and this book is more about feelings. So in this book, let's start by understanding the basic concept and the difference, as I mentioned. And The Secret, it tells us mainly about the law of attraction, and it says that whatever you think, it grows. Whatever you think, you attract it, and you bring about whatever you think. And if you constantly think about success, you will attract success. And if you constantly think about problems, you will attract more of it. And it's a simple formula, dear listeners. It's very direct and clear in understanding that there is nothing hard in this to understand this. And but this book, The Power, it shifts the conversation. It says thinking alone is not enough, and this is the basic question that we people who always talk about mind sciences and who are into it and who have a passion for mind sciences, and whenever we tell these concepts to others, they come up with this very question, that is thinking alone is enough? But the answer is, it is not enough, because behind every thought there is a feeling, and that feeling is what truly attracts experiences into your life. So you can think about success all day, but if deep inside you don't feel it the way it has to be felt, if you feel fear or doubt, or maybe if you are stressed, then that is what you are actually sending out into the world, and resultantly it will be manifested. So you will come up with this statement that I thought, I kept thinking, but it didn't manifest, and I was thinking about success, and I attracted failure. So listeners, this is the point we need to focus on, that if you only think, it is not sufficient, it is not enough, it has to be backed up by similar and aligned feeling. So if you think success, or if you think abundance, that feeling and the state of mind you need to be in should also be similar. And in this book, basically, it tells you that what you actually send out to the world, to the universe, that is what you exactly attract. So in simple words, the secret says think positively, and the power says feel positively. So dear listeners, if you just focus on these two strong statements, these statements are strong, and apparently these statements sound simple, but let me tell you, as I keep on practicing them, these things are not that simple, because we by nature, if we don't get results, when we start thinking something and we don't get results instantly, we tend to doubt that concept. And it happens with most of us, that we start something good, and if we don't get our desired results, we simply don't do, we stop doing that thing, and we have a strong statement then that I tried it, but it didn't work. However, listeners, this has to be kept in mind, that if you think positively and if you feel positively, and these two things are aligned with each other, then the probability of manifestation, probability of achieving what you exactly want to achieve, that grows, that increases. So imagine you keep telling yourself, I want to be successful, but inside you are not sure, you are anxious, and you are afraid of failure. So that won't work. And according to the power, that inner feeling of worry is far more powerful than the words you are saying. And dear listeners, in this book, Rhonda Byrne, she has repeatedly stated this fact, that words have their importance, but feelings have more importance. And in this universe where that is governed by the as Nikola Tesla had once said, that this universe is governed by frequencies, vibrations, and frequencies and vibrations and feelings. These are more important than words. If you don't utter a single word, but you feel successful, you feel abundant, you feel good, you feel positive, that will have a positive effect on all of the things you are doing, and resultantly you will become a successful person. As far as this book is concerned, you need to focus on your inner feelings, and that's where the real shift begins. And listeners, once this shift begins, you will keep on that, you will then start receiving the results. And there is a little time lag does come into the picture, because although you're thinking and you're feeling, these are changing with time, and those changes are executing in real time. However, the impact of those changes and the impact of those feelings, that may take time, and that is in fact the time that you should be focused on. And if you are strong enough to follow that path, dear listeners, then no force can stop you from achieving what you exactly want. But if in that time, that little time lag in which you have already started thinking in a different way, feeling in a different way, you have, for instance, if someone was feeling failure, and if someone was not thinking about success, and now they have started thinking the other way, they have started feeling success, so there will be some time to get that manifested. And once those results are coming, once those results start coming, then the belief of that person, that gets stronger. And once you believe in something, that works for you. This is the whole concept of this belief system that we in mind sciences call BS, a belief system, that whatever you believe to be true, that it is not necessary that it is true or not, but if you believe that it is true, if you believe that is right, that will start working for you. And in this book also, if we, dear listeners, if we are discussing any concept in mind sciences, we must keep this thing in mind, that these are all concepts, and as we call it mind sciences, so whatever we have in our mind, that impacts our reality, that impacts our behavior, that impacts our actions, and that all is manifested accordingly. So if we keep on thinking negative, for instance, we won't be able to achieve any good, any positive thing. But if we think positive, and we don't have that similar feelings, we still won't be able to get the results. And that is where these people who criticize this concept of positive thinking or mind sciences, they come into play. That they say that okay, I started thinking positive, but still I'm not able to get the results. But this book tells you that thinking alone is not sufficient. You have to back it up with the corresponding feelings, and those corresponding feelings must also be positive. And let's dive deeper into the book. Rhonda Byrne, she enlightens us in this book that love is the most powerful force in the universe, and she is absolutely right. We all believe in this, and this is something she has emphasized again and again in this book. And her definition of love is really vast. She includes joy, gratitude, appreciation, excitement, these all into love, and a genuine sense of being alive. She calls all these love. And these are, dear listeners, different forms or phases of love. And it is that feeling when you really enjoy a simple cup of tea, or a simple smile, or a weather, or a road, or a flower, or anything. So when you smile with or without a reason, when you feel pleasant, when you feel thankful to the universe for something or for anything, or everything, small or big, whatever. That feeling, basically, according to Rhonda Byrne, is love. And dear listeners, think about a moment when you felt truly happy, and when you have no fear, when you have no stress, and you are simply happy, you are delighted, you are excited, you are pleased, and everything in that particular state of mind, everything feels lighter, easier, natural. And that is the state the book keeps pointing towards. This particular book, The Power, it describes this as a high frequency state, and where your emotions are aligned with positivity. And we all know that when we are positive, we are in a high frequency state. And when we are high frequency state, things are easier to manifest, things get in a better shape for us, and we feel easy in everything, and this is more natural. And this is basically the state the nature wants us to be in, and we are created in that way, that we have to be in that particular state of mind. And according to the author Rhonda Byrne, when you are in that specific state, you naturally attract more positive experiences into your life than negative experiences. Because think in terms of a scale. For instance, 1 to 10, if we say that that positive scale and that positive frequency, that starts from, say, for instance, 8 to 10, 8, 9 and 10, and the negative states are you may say that 1 to 3 or 4 maybe, and 5, 6, 7. These are the states which we may call them neutral, not positive nor negative. So dear listeners, if you are in a state from, for instance, on a scale of 1 to 10, if you are on 2 or 3, so you won't be able to get to that vibe which is natural when you are on 8, 9 or 10. So on those lower frequencies, you won't be able. We can take an example of as you are listening to this radio show, as we are, and this is Planet FM 87.6. so this is the specific frequency of this channel, Planet FM 87.6. so you to listen to this program, to listen to my show Mind and Muse, you have to connect to this particular frequency. And if you are below that frequency, you won't be able to listen to this program. So this is as easy to understand, that if you want to achieve something, and all the positive things, all pleasant things, pleasant experiences, those are in higher frequencies. And those higher frequencies come when we feel positive, when we feel and think positive. So these this is a brilliant concept, dear listeners, and we naturally attract more. And once you are into that positive state of mind, the all your environment, that also become positive. And as I mentioned earlier, that it may take some time, maybe things as we get disappointed, when we start something and we don't get result, we have this habit of getting disappointed. And in this fast-paced world, we usually don't have time to give to things and to wait for something. But dear listeners, this is something we have to be a bit more patient. We have to give it some time to get things into play, to get these things manifested. And as I mentioned earlier, that since I am an advocate of this positive thinking and mind sciences, and I practice these things. So I can tell you with surety that all these things work, and they do work magically. And this is as simple as I've just mentioned. And think about it in a simple way. Like, for instance, when you wake up in a good mood, your day tends to flow better. And this is what we have experienced many times. We all have experienced this. We must have experienced that if we wake up in a good mood, our entire day flows better. The whole day is pleasant, and we feel and we come across good experiences. But if we unfortunately wake up in a bad mood, or if we are in the morning, we get late from our place of work, or if we are a student, so university or college, if we get late, so our whole day that becomes kind of in a bad mood. So according to Rhonda Byrne, when you are in that state, when you are in a positive state right from the start, and your frequency is higher, you keep on attracting good things. And similarly, if you if you start your day in a bad mood, with a bad state of mind, you will keep on attracting those bad experiences and those negative. On that, if you are late, if in the start you didn't get you didn't wake up on in time, and you reached late to your office or your college, and you will feel that on that specific day, on that particular day, your teacher or your boss, they will not be that pleasant with you. They may ask you something which you don't like, or they may comment maybe not that pleasant, which they otherwise do. And you will keep on attracting, and you will keep on thinking also, and you will say this to yourself and to others also, that since your day started in a negative frame of mind, so the sequence that continued late till night. And this is what we know, but we don't pay attention to this fact, that this is why is this all happening. And dear listeners, this book tells you why does this happen. This book exactly tells you that it is your feelings, it is your mood, it is your state of mind that attracts what you attract in your day-to-day life. And be it your short-term goals, be it your long-term goals, you attract what you think. And if that is aligned with the corresponding positive force, you tend to attract more positive stuff into your life. And people seem kinder, situations feel smoother, things just work out a little easier if you are positive. But when you wake up stressed or irritated, even small things start feeling like big problems. Again, dear listeners, this is also about your mindset. If you feel any small issue a big problem, it will become a big problem for you. And if the other way around, if there is a real problem and you simply take it positively, you simply feel that okay, this is a problem and you are facing it, we shouldn't be in a state of denial. We should accept it, but accepting that with a positive frame of mind, that makes the difference. Once you are in positive frame of mind, you are in a better and in much more effective and efficient state of mind, and the tendency of solving a problem or getting out of a trouble or a difficult situation, that increases, and vice versa. If you are, if you start thinking any small thing a big problem, then it will become worse. And if you are in a bad mood, you will notice this, and you must have noticed that the traffic feels worse and conversations feel heavier. Everything seems slightly off. So next time, if you feel so, you need not to focus on your outer world. If you feel that traffic seems slow, worse, and if you feel that conversations feel heavier, there is no need to look at the problem outside. Look at your inside. How are you feeling? And how was your day started? Was it okay? Was it pleasant? Or was it bad? And I can tell you, if you are feeling bad, if you are feeling, down or irritated, chances are that your day wasn't started that pleasant as it should have been. So dear listeners, this is a lovely concept, and according to this book, The Power, this is not just a coincidence, and it is the energy you are operating from. It is the message, in fact, you are radiating. It is the message you are giving to the universe that, look, I am feeling negative, so negative things will automatically come to you. You will keep on attracting them without even knowing that why is it so. And this was all about that book in The Secret, and this concept that feeling positive makes it easier for you to manifest positive things. This concept, we will keep on discussing more about this lovely book, The Power by Rhonda Byrne, right after this news bulletin. So stay tuned. Welcome back, dear listeners. This is Imad Kasir on Planet FM 87.6, and the show is Mind and Muse. And before the news bulletin, we were discussing that wonderful book by Rhonda Byrne titled as The Power. And we discussed the basic difference between the book, this particular book, and her previous book, The Secret. And I shared my views, and I am of the view that if you haven't read The Secret, you must read that first, and then you must move on to The Power, because this book is an advanced version of the first book, The Secret. And we were discussing the difference and the core idea which is discussed in this book, The Power. And as Rhonda Byrne, she feels and she enlightens us that love is the greatest power, and it is the most powerful force in the universe, and she is absolutely right in thinking that way. And as I mentioned, that her definition of love is vast, and she includes so many different things, like for instance gratitude and happiness, all those feelings in the vast feeling of love. And if you feel, dear listeners, if you feel grateful for small things, you notice that more good things come into your life. So whatever you feel, that grows. In her earlier book, The Secret, we had focused on this concept that whatever you think, that grows. And in the start of this program, in today's show, we have discussed this in detail, that thinking alone is not sufficient. It has to be backed up by a corresponding feeling, and that feeling should also be aligned with those thoughts. And I gave an example that if you want to be successful, and if you are thinking to be successful, but inside your mind you are feeling anxious, and inside your mind you are feeling you are not that confident, or you are stressed, or maybe you are feeling down, or you are afraid of failure, and at the same time you are thinking about success, so that won't work. To get success, to manifest it, to attract it, your feeling must be aligned with your thoughts. And if these two are different, if they are in opposite directions, if you are thinking something else and your feelings are not matching with your thoughts, the most important point is that your feelings will prevail. So your feelings will prevail, because feelings are more important than your thoughts and your words. So that is something she has focused, she has emphasized in this book. And as we discussed, that if we keep on complaining, if we keep on thinking negative, we will keep on attracting negative things. And this is where this book is. This book clearly moves beyond The Secret, because while The Secret, that focused a lot on visualization and imagining your dream life, the power that shifts the focus. This book shifts the focus from imagination to emotion. And dear listeners, that is the main reason why I requested my dear listeners to go for The Secret first, and then read this book, The Power, because this is a process, this is an ongoing process, and these are steps. In the first step, you need to visualize, you need to focus, you need to imagine that what exactly you want from life, what exactly your dreams are. If you aren't clear about your dreams, if you aren't clear what you want to achieve, if you aren't clear about your destination, be it your education, be it your business, be it your professional life, be it anything, if you aren't clear, you won't be able to you won't be able to achieve it. Of course, if you aren't clear about it, you won't be able to reach there. So once you have to be clear, and The Secret book tells you that, because you can't visualize you can't visualize nothing. You have to visualize at least anything, be it your success or whatever it is, small or big, easy or difficult, but it has to be something that you need to focus on. And once you start focusing, once you start visualizing, once you imagine your dream life, then the step that is emphasized in The Secret, that is completed, that ends there. And then this story of The Power starts, where that focus shifts, and where it shifts from imagination to emotions. And when let's bring this conversation to into our everyday life, because ideas are only meaningful when we can actually apply them. And you can start with relationships, with your business relationship, with your family relationships, with your the way you interact with your teachers or your students. So the book suggests something very simple yet extremely powerful. Focus on what you like about a person, be it your teacher or your boss or your someone in your family or your siblings or your parents, rather than what you dislike about them. So you must have experienced this, that if you dear listeners, that everyone is a combination of many different shades of the personality. Like no one is 100% good or no one is 100% bad. So it's a combination. we all have good things in us and also things which are not that good, and this is a combination. So if we keep on focusing on someone's negative aspects of their personality, we will attract negativity. So instead of constantly noticing flaws in others, we have this tendency, most of us have this tendency to notice negative things, to notice flaws, to notice shortcomings in others. If we start appreciating strengths, and I can tell you, dear listeners, that we all have such attributes, we all have such dimensions of our personality, we all have such aspects, we all have such things in us that we can focus more on. So we next time, you may just right now, you can just think of a person in your office or at your home or in your school or college or university or wherever you interact with them. Just think about someone and start appreciating the strength, start appreciating the positive things in that person. Like, for example, instead of thinking that this person never understands me, if you shift your focus to moments when they actually did understand you, there must be some times when they have acted the way you wanted, when they have come up with something pleasant, when they have come up with something positive that you have liked. As I mentioned earlier, that we all are a combination of various aspects which may be positive and which may not be that positive, but we should keep on focusing on the positive aspects in ourselves and in others also. And this book tells us that this small shift in our feelings can slowly begin to change the entire dynamic of that specific relationship itself. So this is a very powerful technique because, dear listeners, we live in this complex world. We all are complex creatures. We all are so different from one another. We all have different backgrounds. We all have different thinking patterns. And even in the same house, even we see difference of opinion in siblings. So so it is important to focus on the positives. We shouldn't be focusing on the differences. We shouldn't be focusing on the negative things. And this is what harmony is all about. And this was in the intro that I shared that special message that was in fact related with the interfaith harmony. But again, in that also we focus on things that different religions tell us that they focus on same things, that we have a lot more common with everyone rather than to focus on the differences. So this is what religions also tell us, that we should be focusing on positive, we should be focusing on the good things in others, we should only be in a positive frame of mind. And as this book tells us, that this is something, if you only shift your focus from noticing flaws to focusing more on something positive, only this thing can change a lot. And this is the power that suggests finding something to appreciate. And as I keep on telling in my all of my programs, that since we need to focus on positive, this is all about mind sciences, this is all about self-help books, this is all about, if we think in broader terms, that we need to focus on pleasant things, and that is the only way forward. If we dear listeners, if we focus on flaws in others, they will also focus on our flaws, and we won't reach anywhere. It will only grow, it will only increase the conflict, which we shouldn't be attracting. We should be avoiding it. We must know the differences, we must respect them, because as I mentioned earlier, that we all come from different backgrounds, from different thinking patterns, and this is something to be accepted, not to be confronted. So we need to focus more on the positives, and instead of saying that this person or that person never understands me, we need to focus when they actually did understand us, when they actually come up with some positive stuff, and when they actually behaved the way we wanted. So if we have any pleasant memory of someone, so we should be focusing more on those positive memories, and dear listeners, that will definitely attract more positivity. And this is what this book tells us. And maybe as I mentioned earlier, that and you can also apply on your opportunities, on your salaries, and on learning and growth, and on your emotions, everything. We are discussing that we have this habit of focusing more on the negatives. Not only it is applied on the persons, but also the also other things, as I just mentioned, that for instance, if we keep on thinking that for those who have their jobs, and they think that their salary is not good, and they don't get a good reward for what they do, if they start focusing on the fact that their salary is good, and they can make it even better by only focusing on that. And same goes with the business revenues, with the profits, and with also learning and growth. If students are listening to me, they must focus on their strengths. If they find any subject difficult, they should be focusing, they should keep themselves in frame of mind where they can learn more. They must give this message, and they must be in that feeling that they have got a brilliant brain, they have got a brilliant mind, and they can learn anything. They have already learned a lot, they have already succeeded in their exams, and if anything is difficult, if anything they are facing challenge, they can overcome that challenge also. So instead of putting themselves in this fear of failure, they must come up with some positive and some optimistic attitude towards their studies. And this is what this book, The Power by Rhonda Byrne, it tells us about this specific feeling and how to get that. And I'll be sharing more on this lovely concept right after this wonderful track. Welcome back, dear listeners. This is Imad Kasir on Planet FM 87.6. The show is Mind and Muse, and we are discussing The Power, a wonderful book by Rhonda Byrne. And we were discussing that this book tells you about how to focus more on your feelings. And before this lovely track, we were discussing that we can focus on so many different things, like rather than focusing on any negative aspect of someone or something, we need to acknowledge, we need to focus more on the positive things and the positive aspects of anything or anyone or any person. So this only this one change in our thinking and in our behavior can lead to success and can shape our experiences more positive and pleasant. And as in her previous book, she has this very attractive style that she simply she divides these concepts into so many different domains, like for instance health and career and money and relationship and business. So in this book also she focuses on so many different areas, and she also focuses on health, that this book can also this concept of this power that can be applied on health also, instead of constantly criticizing our body or our illnesses. We can focus more on our body, on ourselves, and we can appreciate it, what the body has done for us. We can focus more. We can just simply again, as the core idea of this book is to focus on something positive, and by focusing on positive things your vibration becomes higher, and once your vibration is higher you tend to attract pleasant things, pleasant circumstances, and your manifestation becomes easier. So instead of saying that, and I have seen people who keep on saying that I am tired and I am exhausted and I am lethargic, and so instead of saying such things, we need to shift to sentences like affirmations, like my body is doing its best for me, it is giving me everything that I want, and I simply don't do good. I mean, I don't take care of my diet, for instance, or if I don't take care of my sleep, yet our bodies, they keep on trying their best to to serve us. And so we should be thankful to our body also, we should be thankful to our minds also, and that shift from frustration to gratitude can really change how you feel, both mentally and physically. And dear listeners, as I am just focusing on this concept of feeling as emphasized in this book, The Power, this change from frustration to gratitude and all these positive things, this feeling of gratitude, this feeling of being grateful, this feeling of being this vibration of love and thankfulness, gratefulness, these all have this positive impact and effect on our brains, and we come in a state of relaxed and calm frequency, and that is where things start getting better for us. And let's take a moment. This book, it is really a powerful concept. Its name is The Power, and it really discusses this powerful technique, and this is inspiring, and this is comforting, this is uplifting. But there is a question that may arise in my listeners' minds, and that is this really that practical? And I come across this question almost 9 out of 10 times whenever I have conversation with my friends or colleagues or anyone that I want to share my thoughts on this positive thinking and mind sciences. This is a very common question, that is this really practical? Does this really work? And some people believe the ideas like these oversimplify life, and they say and they argue that such concepts ignore real struggles, real challenges, real hardships. And dear listeners, it is not absolutely wrong to think like that. They have this fair point, but love alone won't pay your bills. Love alone won't remove difficulties from your life. Similarly, only if you are grateful, if you are to the universe, if you have this gratitude, simply these things won't work alone. This is a whole set of so many different things which you need to focus and practice simultaneously. This is very important point, dear listeners, that this is a package. This is like, for instance, if you want to shape your body, if you want to lose weight, for instance, so you'll have to follow a diet plan. You will have to follow you will have to focus on your sleep. You will have to focus on exercise. You will have to focus on your gym, the exercises, all these things. This is a package, and if you focus on any one thing and you ignore others, you won't get the desired results. Similarly, concepts like the secret, concepts like the power, these concepts won't work if you only focus on one side of this concept and ignore the other. So this is an entire package, and if you take all things simultaneously, only then this such things and such concepts work. There is something really valuable. Your mindset, that matters most. Your emotional state, that matters most, because it does change how you deal with reality. It in fact doesn't eliminate problems, but it can change how you feel about them. And once you feel positive, feel pleasant, if you feel confident, things start working in a different way for you. The problem will be same. The problem will be there. People ask me, they often ask me that, okay, I have got this problem related to my job, or related to my education, or related to finances, or relationship, or health, or whatever. And is this sufficient that I start thinking positive? I tell them that, okay, this is the first step and far most significant step, because that is the basic stone, that is the first brick, that is the first point from where your journey will start, and that will lead you to your desired result. So that is the first step. That only won't change the situation if you stop yourself on that thinking step and on that thinking phase, and then next time you say that I kept thinking positive but it didn't work. So dear listeners, that won't work alone, as I have repeatedly shared this thing in this particular episode, that thinking is the starting point. Once you start thinking good, then visualization comes, and then feelings. If you feel that way, your feelings are aligned with your thoughts, then things will start changing, and the problems will still be there. If you are facing anything that is not that pleasant, that you want to overcome, that may stay there for a while, but let me assure you, let me guarantee you that once you start thinking that way, once you start visualizing, once you start feeling that way, as it is explained and as it is emphasized in this book, The Power by Rhonda Byrne, things will start getting in a different shape. Those problems which you were thinking that are that will stay there forever, that will be you will feel that they are now fading out. You will feel that they are going away, and you will feel that you have now the power to overcome those problems. And that is the basic change that such books, and particularly this very book, The Power by Rhonda Byrne, this book tells you exactly that how to go about the problems, how to think differently, and how to feel differently. Once you start feeling differently, everything around you changes, and the things which were earlier looking like big problems, those things will now look to you small issues, small matters which can be dealt easily, which can be you can overcome them easily. So this is something the most powerful, and this is what I like more the most in this book, that once you start feeling differently, it can influence how you respond. So this is the connection, dear listeners. If you feel differently, this influences your response to a particular situation. For instance, without knowing this concept of the secret, you may have this habit of getting we see people, they panic a lot. So if you have also this feeling or this habit, and you get panic every now and then, you just see a problem and you get panic, so that is not going to take you anywhere. That is, getting panic is not any solution to any problem. But once you read this book, and once you exactly understand what this author wants you to do, once you exactly know the concept of this book, The Power, then next time when you will be facing a problem, you won't get panic. Then your response will be different. And once your response is different, the results will automatically be different. Because getting panic is not the solution, as I mentioned earlier. But once you know that your feelings are something that you attract the corresponding forces in your life. So if you are focusing more on the problem, when we are in panic, we are focusing more on the problem rather than going for any solution, rather than thinking the ways out for that problem. We just keep on thinking on that problem, and we attract more of the problem, and we keep on in that vicious cycle that that remains there in prolonged times. But if you only think in a way that, okay, this is a problem, this is a situation that needs to be focused on, that needs to be taken care of, and I have to be intelligent enough, I have to be brave enough, I have to be strong enough to overcome this particular situation or this problem. And dear listeners, once you start thinking in that way, in that pattern, I assure you that things start getting manifested in a better way. You start receiving the results you want, pleasant ones, of course. And those problems which earlier weren't in your own thoughts, which were very difficult, and you thought that those problems will stay there forever, you will see the difference, you will see the magic, in fact, that those problems won't remain there, and things will get in a better shape. And this entire concept of this book, The Power, that tells you this way, that simply by changing the way you feel about things, the way you feel about situations, the way you feel about others, the way you feel about any area of your life, that has the power. And that is why she has, this author Rhonda Byrne, she has titled this book as the power. So this is the power. This is the power. This is the actual power that resides inside you. This is the power that is already there. You just need to focus on this power, that you have all the power already there, that is already installed there in your software, but you somehow you weren't maybe paying attention to this particular software, or you weren't aware of this software. As we have this thing in we come across such people, such experiences we see every day, that people have got mobile sets, and but still they are not aware of all the functions and all the softwares installed in that cell. So it is exactly like that something is already there, something is already installed in your in your thinking pattern. This is only how you shift your focus. And as I gave this example of this radio frequency, that right now you are listening to this Planet FM 87.6. So to listen to my show, you have to be on this particular frequency, 87.6. If you are not on this frequency, you won't be able to listen to this show. It is exactly like this, that if you are in a positive frame of mind, if you are in a positive frequency, if you are in a pleasant frequency, only then you will be able to attract more, you will be able to attract positivity and abundance. And if you are focusing on something negative, if you are focusing more on the negative sides in your life, on the negative people, on negative circumstances, so you will keep on attracting more. And this book tells you how to go about such feelings. So this was the difference between this book and the book, the earlier book that we have discussed in our earlier programs, The Secret. But this book is more powerful. That book had revealed a secret, and the secret was law of attraction. And that discussed that whatever you think, you attract. But in this book takes you even further. This book tells you that okay, you have now started attracting what you think, but if you are not able to differentiate between the positive side of anything and negative, and you are thinking positive but still you are feeling negative, so you will still remain in a fix and you won't be able to attract what you exactly want. So this is, dear listeners, the basic point, the basic concept that shapes our reality. So I'll be wrapping this up, and I'll be giving you this summary that in this episode, what did we exactly learn? And the secret, as I since the start of this episode, I am referring to this book, The Secret, because this is the book that we discussed today, The Power. That is the higher and advanced version of The Secret. The Secret taught us that thoughts shape our reality, and the power takes that idea further. It tells us that feelings shape those thoughts. So, dear listeners, just focus on this concept, that ideas that are feelings shapes those thoughts. So this is a circle, this is a cycle, that if you think positive, your thoughts need to be positive, and if your thoughts are positive, your feelings should also be positive. But if somewhere there is any issue you are facing, and people do face such issues, as I mentioned earlier, that we most of the times we just start thinking about something, but inside us we still don't believe in that thought. And as I gave you example, that if I want to be successful, but inside my heart, but inside my brain, I am not confident enough, and I have this fear of losing, I will not be able to manifest what I exactly want, despite the fact that I keep on thinking positive. So it has to be backed up with the similar and corresponding positive feelings. And one focuses on the mind. The book Secret. The Secret focuses more on mind because it emphasizes on thoughts. But this book, The Power, that focuses more on the heart. So this is an interesting difference. That the book, The Secret, that focused more on the mind, and this book, The Power, focuses on heart, because thoughts are related to your mind and feelings are related to your heart. And maybe this is the real takeaway. And I would, if my listeners, they have only focused on this specific point, I'll feel that the message is conveyed. And it is not just about thinking positive, as I repeatedly shared. It's about feeling alive. It's about feeling grateful. And as Rhonda Byrne, she emphasized that she sees and she thinks and she feels that love is the greatest power in the universe, and she is absolutely right in feeling that way. So feeling connected even in the smallest moments of life, and in this feeling of gratitude and all this thankfulness to the universe, to others, that is something that puts us in this frame frame of positive thinking and positive feeling. And sometimes it's not the big changes that transform our lives, but the small shifts in how we feel every single day. And so with this message that you need to be positive, you need to think positive, you need to feel positive, you need to focus on the positive aspects in others and in yourself, and you should and you must always focus on positives. That is the way. As once it reminded me of that famous quote of the famous novelist Paulo Coelho. He once said that if you want something, the whole universe conspires to make it happen. And this famous quote, this famous line is from his wonderful book, the novel Alchemist. And but later on his Facebook page, Paulo Coelho said that, but be careful, because the universe does not differentiate between positive and negative. So dear listeners, the universe does not differentiate between positive or negative. So whatever you will think, you will attract. Whatever you will feel, you will attract. So you need to differentiate between negative and positive, and once you feel positive, once you feel good about things, you will keep on attracting good things. And this was all about this book, The Power by Rhonda Byrne. And this is me, Imad Kasir, signing off from Planet FM 87.6. The show was Mind and Muse, and until next time, Allah Hafiz.